you make your way back to Cobb's Landing after a very exciting experience, and Sitimus looks over at your tired and wearied and wounded bodies and the frightened almost looks on your faces, and he says, "My, what happened here? Have a run-in with something?"
A lot of things.
Just a run-in with death.
Repeatedly.
That's a good term for it. We ran into death, and lots of it.
Something that the guild should be aware of.
Oh, no. The threat's over now. We actually took care of it. So all those sleepwalking skeletons that have been walking around from that cave to the east, they should be no more.
Excellent, excellent. Good. We shall claim that territory for the guild then.
You might have to hold off on that one.
Why is this?
There is some very foul creatures inside that cave as well that seem to eat magic, and one grew after getting hit with fire.
Strange. Very strange. Do you know where they came from?
No idea.
No.
It was, I guess we should start from the beginning, would be more interesting.
Yes, please, start from the beginning.
Do you want to have the honor, Savior?
So, we traveled out in order to try to get some more information on these sleepwalkers, and as we were surveying the current conditions, an absolute horde of them came running out of the cavern towards us, so we had to flee. And as we lost them and made our way back, we decided to see if it was possible for us to make our way up the side of the hill to the portion that's right above the cave entrance, so that way we could potentially drop a log on them to try to take out as many as possible. While we were doing that, we discovered another cave, which was littered with bones, which is home to a creature that looks very similar to me, except much bigger and more green than gold. And turns out it has a nest there with a couple eggs. And after some, how should we put, unfortunate miscommunications, we finally were able to calm the beast down. And that allowed us to explore further into the cave system. And as we went deeper into the cave, we found a ziggurat made of those sleepwalker skeletons, at least 4 or 5 levels tall, with a giant 2,000-pound bell at the top. It was basically a larger version of the bells we see inside the sleepwalkers. It had the cloth stuffed inside it and everything. So we began to attempt to destroy the bell, and while we were doing that, the sleepwalkers started waking up and attacking, and things were going well right up until the point where we finally knocked the bell loose, and it started falling down the side of the ziggurat, and the handful of sleepwalkers that were waking up turned into swarms of sleepwalkers that were waking up. And then we had these 2 giant black oozes come up from the corridor behind us. We don't know where in the cavern system they originated from, but as was mentioned earlier, when I hit them with magic, it seemed to like it, and it actually grew bigger. And hitting it with a blunt weapon did some damage, but it didn't seem like it did a lot of damage. So we decided to flee towards the sleepwalkers. And that is when Magnus was able to summon up these vines from the ground that kind of held them in place and cleared a pathway for us. And we were able to run through, not unscathed, but alive. And some of the rest of the group were able to finally pull the cladding out of the bell and disable it. And when they did that, the bell actually rang in a different tone, and all the sleepwalkers dropped where they were at. So
Oh.
they should no longer be a threat. Mormont actually saw the magic from the bell draining, but those two oozes are still in there.
So do you think this got rid of all the sleepwalkers we've seen?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the sleepwalkers in that cavern are disabled for good, but I don't know if there's a similar bell at the other sleepwalker sites or if that was more of a regional bell.
So we should look for large bells if we see more sleepwalkers then.
Yes.
Very well. This is valuable information. Very valuable. I suppose, considering, I can award each of you, I would say 100 Snelia each for your efforts today.
Thank you.
For bringing this information back to the guild. Is there anything else before we impress this map back onto the waystones and make our way due?
There is one more thing.
Yes.
As Xavier accurately mentioned, we did find a cave on the other side of this cave. We were sort of skirting it. There were some bones outside of this cave where this creature found its nest. And upon scrounging around it, I dug up a stone that had Lysinian text on it, if I recall correctly. I'm not able to read it myself, but Magnus here said that it was a marker for a battle between the Lysinians and Takatians. And it was victory on the Lysinian side, it would seem.
Oh, and there is one other thing. While Demos was scouting, trying to look for a clearer path up to the cave, he spotted a temple to the northwest, technically to the east-northeast of the mountain there.
Very interesting.
Yes, almost strictly north of us.
There's also some stone columns I found as well.
Very, very interesting. This will need further investigation by future groups. Was there anything else you found? Anything else in the caves, for example? Treasure, perhaps?
Did you mention the caskets you found and things?
Yes, there is. Unfortunately, we didn't have an opportunity to grab it, but in the nest of the creature that I made friends with was a Belazar body. I'm going to see if I can go back and retrieve it later.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I shall leave you to it then. You'd best be quick. The guild can be very competitive, and just because you're the one who cleaned out the place doesn't mean you're the one who will claim the treasure.
Yep.
Yeah. Just beware it's not cleaned out. Those creatures are deadly.
Understood. Understood. And that other creature with the eggs you mentioned is still there, I presume.
As long as I'm there, she's fine.
I see. Well, I shall look forward to your future endeavors, and I thank you for your service to the guild.